Good evening, everybody. Silver Dragon here, going to be doing a little Dwarf Fortress tutorial today. Now, as you can see, this tutorial is going to be for version 0.34.11 of Dwarf Fortress, which is the most current version of the game itself. Now, I'm making this tutorial, of course, to help out a lot of people I know that have been joining me for my live streams of Dwarf Fortress, and really they want to try the game, or they've already tried it before, but it's so complicated and they really just can't figure out how to get into it. This is for them. And for anyone else that may be looking for a good, more updated tutorial for Dwarf Fortress. Since I lost my previous video, I had to make a new one. Now this, to begin with, I'm going to be doing a bit of a couple announcements and such, so if you guys just want the tutorial itself, skip ahead to a certain point. I will be putting an annotation up on the actual video later to show exactly where to skip to, but for now, to the announcements. Okay, first things first, of course, I'm going to be on vacation for the next probably week and a half or so, so I won't be back till about the 28th, 29th or something like that of August. So there will not be any content from me till roughly around then. Also, there are going to be some changes to what is actually getting uploaded to my YouTube. More than likely, none of my live streams on Twitch TV are actually going to be uploaded. Before, it was like an archive. YouTube was basically an archive for my streams. Now I'm basically going to be transferring it. That doesn't mean I'm abandoning you guys. It doesn't mean I'm abandoning YouTube. I'm actually going to be doing something a little different instead. I'm basically going to be making exclusive videos just for the YouTube itself, like every day or every second day. And the Twitch itself, I will just be permanent. It will also be exclusive to the people watching it from there, in which most of the stuff that does get streamed on there will only be for the actual Twitch. Sorry about that. That's my phone going off there. Alarm telling me I need to get up and get ready to go for the vacation. So yeah, I need to go start packing stuff here soon. So this is going to be a quick video. I'm setting roughly a half an hour guideline for me to get this done. But anyway, now on to the actual tutorial itself. Thank you guys for listening to that. I will be back soon and we will kick some ass, take some names, and create some awesome videos for you. But anyway, alright, for the tutorial now. First thing you're going to want to do, I'm going to show you exactly how to get it, what to do with it, and so on and so forth. We're starting from the absolute basics. First thing you want to do is you're going to want to go to Google, good old Google, and you're going to want to search up the Lazy Noob Pack. Yes, Lazy Noob Pack. I can zoom in on that if I have to. Basically, this pack has Dwarf Fortress, has the game, has the utilities, the graphics packs, everything you need for a new player to play Dwarf Fortress. Without this, it could be a little difficult because without the graphics pack, everything's made up of symbols and numbers and letters and such, so you really can't tell what's going on. At least with the texture packs, you have more of an idea. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to download the Lazy New Pack. It has everything. Later on, you might want the advanced version of it, but right now we just want the Lazy New Pack. And of course, we have the contents, utilities, all this other stuff, change logs. It's good to read some of that, find out some stuff about it. But right now, we want to download this, so let's just let's say click on this here. And it'll bring it to this window. Now you see, oh, I had to click on this here. It says Lazy New Pack, but no, not really. You need to just click on the little download button up here, download now, and you will start downloading it immediately. And you should have it set up in a folder somewhere. Once you actually have that, we can move over to that now. Let me just click onto this. I have it in a different folder. Okay, once you extract that, you will have the Lazy New Pack folder here. If we enter into that, we have a couple different things. We have the Lazy New Pack. This is the actual GUI. We have the actual Dwarf Fortress game, and this right here, LNP. This has all the utilities and such in it, and the graphics packs, keybinds. First thing we're going to want to do when we start up Dwarf Fortress is we're going to want to start up the utilities. So we want to go into the utilities, click on Noob, and we have a couple different ones here. Dwarf Init, DF Init. I don't really use that. I'm not 100% sure even what it does, to be honest, right now. But yeah, I don't really find it necessary to look at. But I'll do a follow-up video when I get back from vacation on what exactly a lot of these advanced ones do. But the one thing we want to open up right now is the Dwarf Therapist. Dwarf Therapist allows us to basically assign, yeah, it says, unable to locate Dwarf Fortress. It is not running. Are you sure it is running? And so on and so forth. Uh, but yeah, basically this allows us to quickly, easily assign jobs to our dwarves, see what they're doing, rename them, do all kinds of lovely things that are just extremely simplifies the game. Another one of the utilities that I definitely suggest you use, that I use all the time, it adds so much depth and such to it, is Sound Sense. Now we're just going to launch that. It's going to say all this packs loaded. It might say something differently, and it's going to ask you to find gamelog.txt in the Dwarf Fortress directory. Now you just have to go to that same folder that you have extracted the game into. For me, it's going to take me a minute to actually get in there because I have folders within folders within folders within so on and so forth. And once you get to the Lazy Noob Pack folder again, you want to go into the Dwarf Fortress one and locate the game, where is it? Game log text. Just gamelog.txt. It should be right under the Dwarf Fortress icon. And then just hit open. Then you're going to get something like this here. Let me just scroll this down and actually zoom in on it a bit so you can have more of a idea of what it does. Whoop, where's it at? Oh, there it is. Okay, let me stretch this guy down here. Can't really see too well, but hopefully it'll be enough. Now, of course, we have the currently playing, the sound volume, sound configuration, and sound pack update. The first thing you're going to want to do when you launch SoundSense is go to the sound pack update and hit Start Automatic Update. It's going to take you a long time to actually update it, but once it's done, you just go over to Sound Configuration and hit Reload Configuration, and it will reload all the packs. Now I have transferred over my SoundSense from the other actual folder I had, so I don't need to do that secondary step, so I'm going to just leave it here as it is right now. Now, after all this is done, you're going to want to actually launch the pack itself, or the actual Lazy New Pack. And you can actually launch, you don't have to go through the folders to get to these programs, you can actually launch it from Lazy New Pack. But I personally, I don't know, I just like to launch it from the folders itself. It's just me. But here we go. We have the Lazy New Pack window here. Let me remove this quickly. Screen region this guy. Pop him up nice and wide so you can see what's going on here. Here it is, this lovely utility. Now, there's a couple different options we're going to have to set on here, or set in here. A population cap of 200 is about perfect. Because anything over 200, you're going to get a lot of lag. Even when you actually finally do get to 200, there's tending to be a lot of lag. So if your computer is not the best in the world, I'd say maybe reduce it to 150 or so. Dwarf Fortress only runs off one core, so it doesn't really matter if you have like the most amazing computer in the world. You're still going to get lag if you have too many dwarves. Now another setting I like to change is the child cap, because children take literally 12 years to grow into an adult, which basically having a 12-year fortress is pretty much like, I'd say almost end game in a way, because if you don't last like 3 years, I would say is about mid game, because that's when you start getting like invasions and such and all the lovely fun stuff. But I like to restrict my children to 10 to 1,000, so that you would maybe get 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 kids, and you're out of your 200 dwarves or something like that, which is a pretty good ratio. Yeah, starting labor skills. They will start. This basically is laborers that come into your fortress will automatically have their skills enabled. It's pretty useful, but I end a little, well, it can be useful, but I tend to pause and customize them anyway in the Dwarf Therapist. One thing I definitely suggest you guys do to begin with when you first start out is to disable aquifers. If you don't know Dwarf Fortress, aquifers are evil. Basically, they're layers of water that go throughout the entire area of your fortress, and they're incredibly hard to get through to get to stone. Typically the stones below it, so you can't actually build till you get through that aquifer. So it typically requires like causing a cave-in. Hopefully it's deep enough to be able to cause a cave-in, because if it's like 3 layers down, then you probably can't unless there's a mountain somewhere. But anyway, next we go to the graphics packs. We have a couple different versions here. I have never actually used the ASC2. Which is the default one on this, but someone actually suggested that they do use that. I'm actually tempted to use it for the tutorial, but I'm going to go for Phobos, which is the one I know about the most right now, just I recognize the most, so I don't get like distracted by all the pretty things going, ooh, that's new, ooh, that looks so shiny. But you have 3 different graphics packs to choose from. Just click whichever one you want and hit install graphics. It'll change the RAWs, change the save games, update. done. If you happen to just change it already, you can update it manually yourself, clicking any of these ones. Next, we move on to the utilities folder, which of course we have Dwarf Fortress Therapist, Sound Sense, so on. We can open up the folders from here. So really, all you really need to do is launch this program. I don't know why I do the extra step, but I do. And then finally, we have the advanced. Here we have the FPS counter, which is always nice to have on there. Startup intro movie, you can say yes, no. Windowed mode, I always put it in windowed mode. Autoplay or autosave. It will save yearly. Personally, it's probably a good idea for you to save seasonally, which means every new season, spring, summer that comes along, they will save. Pause on save, yes, so that it can actually do that. So it doesn't actually continue afterwards in case there's something evil happening or bad happening. Backup saves, I typically say no because we don't really want to have 1,000 different Dwarf Fortress save files or like 15, 20 save files because of each season being saved. But generally, this is it now. Everything is set up. You're ready to go to start with the Dwarf Fortress. So we're going to go down to the bottom here, hit play Dwarf Fortress, and that will launch it. As you can hear right now, that lovely sound in the background, that actually does come from the, let me remove the GUI though, from the sound sense. Let me stretch this guy down here so we can properly cover the whole page now. Hopefully I have it, don't have the edges kind of like showing too much. Oh, come on you. There we go. Good enough. Alright, now when we first come in here, we have a couple different options. There's Object Testing Arena, which we don't really want to mess with about Dwarf Fortress. If you want to learn about Dwarf Fortress, Create New World and Design New World with Advanced Parameters. Generally, obviously, we're not going to design a new world with advanced parameters. That takes a while and a lot of information we have to put in. So we want to go Create New World, and we'll get a little note from Toady. Welcome to the alpha of Dwarf Fortress. There has been some time during releases, instability to be expected, bugs, report at the forum, so on and so forth. Now here we can make our world size, our history. We can do a bunch of different things here. First things first, with the world size, I generally want to make a large world to begin with, just so there's a lot of terrain that we can go through to find a really good fortress. For the history, I want to go short because I personally prefer a short history. It's about 125 years. A very short history would only be like 5 years, and so on and so forth. The more history it generates, the more civilizations pop up and everything, but I like to have it. I want my civilizations, my dwarven fortresses, to be like the dominating civilizations. So yeah, number of civilizations basically tells you about the distinct number of races, cultures there are. I tend to put that to very high, just for the heck of it. Number of sites, likewise, all the distinct places that can exist, towers and all kinds of different areas and such. So I put that on high, very high as well. Number of beasts and and such, you could probably keep that on medium if you wanted to. I personally like the challenge now, so I put it on very high myself. Savagery as well, you might want to put on like a medium or a low to begin with, just so you can get to know Dwarf Fortress more and you're not being attacked by giant wolverines who will tear the arms off your dwarves and chew on them while they beat the crap out of you. But yeah, again, for myself, very high. And for mineral currents, when you first start out, you're going to want to put it on everywhere, most definitely, because you want tons of materials, tons of minerals for you to practice and test with. Once you're ready, you just hit Y to go, and we will start generating the world. So here is our world generation. You can see all the lovely little symbols that make up the world, but interesting to see the green stuff there actually looks like trees, and the rivers actually look like rivers. If we weren't using a texture pack, it would all be symbols. All of it would be symbols and letters, trust me. I could not play a Dwarf Fortress without the actual texture pack. I'm just, yeah, that spoiled, I guess. But yeah, it's preparing elevations, setting the temperatures, running the rivers, forming the lakes and minerals. And then soon it's going to start doing the history, which is the one that takes a long time. This music in the background, again, this epic song you're hearing right now, this is from Sound Sense. So we're going to listen to this awesome tune while it actually keeps generating this world. Shouldn't take too long. If you see a lot of rejected stuff up top here, don't worry about it. That happens a lot, especially when you create your own advanced world. Trust me, I've had like thousands of rejections. Oh god. Because I literally created a world that was like 80% evil and 30% everything else. It was crazy. Wait. No, 20% everything else. Yeah. Crap. My math is terrible right now. See, right now it's just the Age of Myth. It's generating all the years, the history, or historical figures, the dead, the events. Actually, let me lower my mixer here quickly on SoundSense because it might be a little too loud. There we go. But you see, it's generating the time. We can use enter or escape to finish or pause the actual history, which I am probably going to actually use once it gets up to about 60 or 70 years of history. Just because I need to hurry this along, and I don't really have a long time to wait. This will actually show you how to stop it roughly where you want it. Obviously, it's going to keep generating it, and eventually it'll kick in and be like, oh, wait, you told me to stop? Oh, God, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. So it's at 60 years of history right now, so I'll call it at about 70 years of history. Should be plenty for now. And you can see them generating these fortresses here, too, for the dwarves. 68, 69, and I'll hit enter now, so it stops at 70, hopefully. Or close to it, 71. Let's see when it actually kicks in, 72. Okay, now we have a couple different things. We can abort and completely delete this map. We can continue, which will continue with the generation. Or we can use the world as it currently exists, hitting U, which is what we plan on doing. So I'm going to use it as it currently exists. It'll show it off, save everything up here, and it'll be like, you can explore it now, take a look around at the world. But we'll do that in a minute when we're actually embarking there. So let me hit enter to accept it. It will start saving the world. And now, in a minute, we're going to have a couple new options that pop up. Saving. Lots of saving. I haven't actually, it's very rare that I actually make a tiny pocket world, but I really should try that one of these days. I'll probably do it for my new Let's Play series for YouTube, the exclusive ones. Not to say there won't be any on my Twitch as well, there will be stuff on there. I still weekendly Dwarf Fortress. Of course, it does this whole not responding thing right now. Just give it a couple seconds, it'll kick in. It's just like that sometimes. I've also gotten rid of my schedule here on the left, because I'll be changing that all up. There we go. Village of Dwarves. Now we can start playing. Well, yeah, it's basically a new option. We can start playing. Now, when we hit here, we have three different options. Legends mode basically will tell you about all the legends, all the historical figures, the sites, the areas, dragons, histories, everything like that is found in Legends. Adventure mode is basically where you take a single dwarf and you adventure around the world. You control him directly, and you basically try and raise your fame. You kill monsters, you gather equipment, you do all kinds of stuff. Get like followers come with you. Currently, the next version of Dwarf Fortress has such a huge amount of changes coming to this that I just can't wait for it. It's gonna be amazing. But we won't actually be touching that today. The main part of Dwarf Fortress is, of course, Dwarf Fortress mode, which is up here. This is the mode where you take 7 dwarves and you embark into an area and make yourself a fortress and try and survive against the harshness of the environment. Now we have a couple different windows here. On the top left corner, we have the local window, which shows us exactly what area we're in. That's basically the area we're embarking in. We can use the U, M, K, and H keys to move it around. We can also resize them using those same keys. It's not advised to resize it to a large area too much because it does cause a lot of lag. I try to extend it like maybe one direction, but that's it. Any more than that, and you will, unless you have like a 50 or say restricted to like a 100 dwarf fortress or something, you're going to be pretty hard off with the lag. We can use the up, down, left, right arrow keys in order to move around. The center one here is the region. This is generally the area we're in right now that we're looking around. And then the far right is the world map. We can see like the massive world we have here created. Right on the far right we have the actual stats window. It tells us what kind of area we're in, what the temperature is, if it has trees, vegetation, what kind of surrounding it is, how hostile it is. It's a wilderness, which is it's not too bad. We're near a brook. And then also at the bottom here, this is the important part here, shows us what kind of materials are here. Generally, there are 3 things you want to have to embark in an area. You want to have shallow metals, deep metals, and flux stone. This basically, you might not actually have the metal to get this, but yeah. This basically makes so that you can have the possibility of having iron ore that you can find and smelt, which you then use the flux stone to turn it into steel. So you can have a really good steel industry, and then of course equip your doors with epic stuff. Now there are a couple different things you could do. For some reason there's still an aquifer here, even though I've disabled aquifers. That's a little odd, but that happens sometimes. But anyway, we have a couple things down here, of course. We can hit tab to change mode, which I will show as well. If we say, oh, we want to embark in this area, it has shallow metals and deep metals and blah, blah, blah. It will, if we hit tab, it'll tell us, okay, these are our neighbors. We have dwarves here, goblins, so we'll be invaded by goblin ambushes and stuff all the time. Elves and humans will come to trade with us as well. Shows all the civilizations nearby, the elevation. The elevation is relatively important, but the main one is this right here, the cliff indicator. You can move you around. Now, of course, don't use the arrow keys if you want to move your local. Remember, it's UM, H, and K. So we would move it around here, say, oh, I want to embark down here on this river with all the zeros on it up here, while still having this like plain-like area here, and then a mountain to dig into to make a fortress. You can't really see it. Let me actually zoom in on this so you can properly see exactly what it is I am talking about here. There we go. Now you can see this properly. Okay, so we could actually move it around like so. You can see it moves the area. I can stretch it using U or shift capital U and then capital M to restrict it back down and so on and so forth. So yeah, generally if I went like this, I would have like a giant cliff for a fortress, and then way down here I would have, actually, you know what, an interesting one would be something like this as well. You would have, like, if I extended it one more to the right with capital K, you would have a massive cliff on one side to make your fortress, a river in the center, and then another actual mountainside. Now, this would be really cool because you could actually make, like, a giant bridge going across the river to each fortress. Now, this is something I've never actually done. I just looked at this, I was like, whoa, inspiration! I've totally got to do this now, obviously. So I'm going to have to find a location like this later on for my actual Let's Plays. But anyway, well, that actually has the materials we need. Anyway, let me remove that little screen region for now. Okay, now we need to find ourselves some flux-stone materials and everything else. Let's go back to that indicator. Now, we can use the Find Desired Location menu. If we hit F, we can tell it we want, say, low savagery, we want low evil. Doesn't matter anything about the temperature, rain, or nothing. We want flux-stone. We do not want an aquifer. And we want shallow metals and deep metals. Anything else is good, but it doesn't really matter. Then if we hit enter, it will do a search. I'll let it even do that right now. You can see there where it's searching the whole map now. It'll start off in the top left corner, and it will slowly work its way down through the land masses, trying to locate exactly what we have specified. But I'm just gonna stop that now. I'm not gonna bother using that because I typically can find a place a little bit quicker. I generally know where I'm gonna find my flux stone and stuff. Alright, so let me just zoom around here. You can actually use shift to speed things along as well. Shallow metals, deep metals. No flux stone that I can see right now. We can also use the scroll keys to actually like zoom way out here and adjust our viewing. Shallow metals, deep metals. Apparently this world is covered in shallow metals and deep metals, but so far I'm not seeing any flux stone. Now that doesn't mean there is no flux stone there. I can still embark there and there might be flux stone. There are maps like this where I get and it won't actually say if there is any flux stone. I don't know if that's just a issue because I put it to materials being everywhere. But let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to take a quick search around. Doesn't look like I'm going to be finding any flux stone, though. Okay. So let me just find a nice little area here to embark on. Some soil. Let's go with... This one's warm. I want a nice temperate area here. So let me... There's a mountain? No, it's a desert oasis. Okay. Let's go over here to this mountain here and see if we can find a nice place. Right over here we have a dwarf, an actual fortress for a dwarf. And we have a tower. Now, this tower has a possibility of housing necromancers later on, so we might get some interesting guests coming to our fortress. But anyway, I'm not too happy with all these... Oh, goddamn, there's a lot of fortresses here. I'm not too happy with the aquifers being around here, but there's not much I can do about it right now. So we're going to see here. We have an area that's warm. It's heavily forested, which is really good. You want heavily forested. Thick vegetation. And untamed wilds. Now, untamed wilds might be a little too hostile to begin with. Generally, you just want to find something that says green wilderness. Let me see if I can, like right here. Actually, this is a good enough spot right here. We got untamed or not. We have woodland, which is not quite good as heavily forested, but it's pretty good. Temperate, so generally water will freeze in the winter and then warm up in the spring, kind of thing. Other vegetation is moderate. We could. I like to embark with a little bit on the creek here, just so I can take advantage of it if there's any fish or anything there. But anyway, this place is good enough to embark. So once you've found it, you've used the and so on keys to move it around to exactly where you want to embark. You just hit E, and you will embark. This is your only warning. Only warning. It's going to be done. So hit Enter if you want to embark on that. Okay, now you have a couple different things you packs you can pick from here. I'm personally going to be setting up my own personal one. But generally, there is a couple things you basically need to bring with you, or dwarves you need to bring with you anytime you actually prepare for an embark. I'm going to show that while I prepare for it, so I'm going to hit Prepare for Embark, and we're going to see a couple different things here. On the top left, we have, like, it's a bunch of 10s next to them. Basically says this is how many points we can assign to them. And as it goes up, like right now, it costs 5 points per level we put in this. And at the bottom right corner here, we have the actual points we have total right now. We only have 270, so I'll have to go to the items and actually remove some to get some more stuff. But anyway, there's the things that we need, absolutely do need, are a miner to dig up the soil, dig up the stone, and give us stone to craft with. A mason who will take that stone and turn it into tables, chairs, doors, and other very important things that we do need for a successful fortress. A woodcutter / carpenter who obviously cuts down trees and turns them into beds, barrels for storing food, also tables, doors, and stuff like that, but I typically tend to leave that to stone because stone is more prevalent, and you want to save your wood for bins to store stuff, barrels, and beds, generally, and cages. The other one you're absolutely going to need is a grower. Out of the 4 dwarves, you're going to need a grower, someone to grow your food. I also tend to tell them to have brewing for brewing drinks from that food they plant, and cooking to cook it. So they're generally the guy that does everything that has to relate with the food. Now the 5th and the most important dwarf that you will be bringing with you on this embark is your leader, basically. Now your leader is the guy that's going to be fairly useless to begin with. All he'll be able to really do is haul. He won't be doing a lot of work. But later on, he is basically the most important dwarf. He has several different skills that basically make him the leader. One of which is record keeping, which allows him to basically tell what we have for stocks and everything, keep all of our stocks up to date. Otherwise, we would end up everything we mine, everything we get would end up as question mark, like we don't know how much of it we have. This can lead to ending up with no food because you didn't know we were running out, or no drinks, in which case dwarves tend to get a little upset at you because they kind of live to drink in a way and drink to live. But anyway, another one is organizer, which it's a minor skill. I only put like 1 point in it just so that he can become a manager and tell them to make certain items. Queue them up, basically. He queues up items, basically, that goes to all the workshops that he specifically designated it for, and they will get that done. The other 2 important ones for the leader are appraiser and negotiator. You're going to need those skills for when the traders come along and get stuff and be able to trade stuff with them. That still leaves you with 2 dwarves generally to make anything with that, whatever you want. Now I am going to be taking this embark profile that I'm about to make, and I will upload it to my Dropbox when I actually get back from vacation, as well as a bunch of other stuff, so that you guys will be able to download this actual embark profile and pop it in somewhere and use it. But anyway, I'm going to start off at the top here, so let's go to the top dwarf. Now we're going to want to make him a miner. Typically I go for a setup of 3 miners that have other skills. So I'm going to make him a miner, a proficient miner, and a proficient mason. The next one I'm going to make a proficient miner and a proficient stonecrafter. The third one I'm going to make a miner, and I'm actually going to do something a little different this time. Usually I would go with something else a little bit more useful, or even just give him, like, say, a weapon skill, like, say, hammerer or axesmith or axe wielder or such, so that he could actually defend the fortress in case of attack. But in this case, I'm going to give him engraving. Basically, engraving is when you get to a stone layer and you dig out like an area for a dining hall. If you if you smooth out the dining hall and then you engrave it, you basically create it to make it into a legendary dining hall. Legendary dining halls make dwarves incredibly happy. Basically, you could feed their children to the dogs or something, and they would still be happy because they're dining in a legendary dining hall. So that's how my first three dwarves are going to be set up. Next one we have the adequate woodcutter and carpenter. I'm going to give him, let's see, I'm going to go adequate woodcutter and carpenter and proficient carpenter, and I'm going to use the last three skills on, let's see if I can find it, mechanic. Just because I want to be able to make some mechanisms. Now you can see we're out of points now. We only have 3 points left, so we can't actually spend anymore. So we need to actually start getting rid of some items. So let me hit tab, and that will take me over to the item screen. On the left side we have our items. We have 2 copper picks, 2 battle axes. I'm only bringing 1 carpenter, so I'm going to reduce the battle axe by 1 and increase the copper pick by 1. Iron anvil takes up a lot of our space, but we might need that in order to get an early metal industry. So I definitely suggest bringing it unless you absolutely need the points. Right here we have beer, which is a necessity for them. So we definitely want to bring that. Plump helmet spawn is the main crop you're going to be planting, so I like to bring at least 40 of it with me. So I'm going to hit the plus and negative keys. Speaking of which, you can scroll up and to the right and left using the arrow keys. But in order to increase the actual items, you use the plus and negative keys on your numpad or possibly keyboard. All right, now going down here, we have all this thread and cloth. I'm going to reduce that to 2 ropes, 1 bag, no cloth, and I'm going to remove the thread as well. I'll be able to hopefully get some of that later or trade for it. I do not want to bring any quivers with me as I will not need it. I'll only bring 2 buckets, 1 splint, and 1 crutch. The wheelbarrow I will bring with me. Alright, so let me increase the plump helmet spawn up to 40 now. Now let's go back to the dwarves, and we will use the other points later for animals. So we'll make him a competent mechanic. Next we have the planter, so we're going to go down to grower. We're going to raise that up to proficient grower. Brewer, we're going to put him up to competent, and then make him an adequate cook. So it's 10 in grower, 8 in brewer, and then 7 in cook. Alright, for the next dwarf, we're going to set him up as, let me see, I've got the 2 miners, I've got the crafters and everything we need there. Wait, did I actually make one of my miners a stone crafter? I think I did. I did. Okay, good. Okay, for the second last one, we're going to want to, of course, make him my leader. So we're going to scroll down here, all the way down. This takes quite a while to find it here. Here we go. So we have record keeper, which we want to max. Proficient record keeper. You don't have to. I can even lower it to 1. Actually, I'll probably lower it to competent record keeper, just because it's a skill he will learn enough in time. But as long as he's decently good at it to begin with, it should be enough. Organizer, I'm only going to give 1 point. But the thing I'm going to give it a lot of points is, let's see, I'm going to go adequate appraiser, but especially negotiator. I want him to be a skilled negotiator, so that I will be able to trade goods for a much lower profit towards the trader. So I will get much more goods for my stuff. Okay, and actually I'm going to take 1 more off of, let's see, I'm going to take 1 more off of record keeper, and I'm going to put it into leader. Just so he's the leader, he actually has leader skills, and they will properly take care of that. Now, the final dwarf here, we could pretty much do whatever we wanted with this guy. If we wanted an early metal industry, I could set him up as an armor smith and a metal smith and such. I could make him a gem cutter and setter, which is usually a good idea to have, so that any of the gems you find, you can turn them to, cut them up, turn them into a really good early trading item. You could also engrave them into other items to make them good. I could also bring a trapper with. I could bring like a hunter with me, who would, if I give him I believe it's level 8 or 9 ambushing. I'd probably max out ambushing, and then some crossbow dwarf skill. He would actually bring a crossbow and some ammo with him, so I just need to bring some extra ammo. But for now, we're just going to go gem cutting and gem setting as his job. Now we're going to tab back to the items. We have a couple different things we're going to want to change on here. I am going to, let's see, what do I need? I'm going to get rid of the crutches and the bucket. I'm all except for one bucket, just to give me some more points to deal with. Now, generally this is good. We have a good portion of food to start off with. We have the plump helmet spawn, which is what we need. I'd like to increase the other seeds by 5 at least. Make sure we bring 10 with us just to have a good stock of them, a decent stock. Raise plump helmets themselves up a little bit if I can. No, we have enough food with that. Basically, you either brew or you cook plump helmets in order to actually make seeds. So it's always good to have. Now we're going to want to go over to the animals here on the right. We're going to want to bring one male and one female dog, which will allow us to train war dogs eventually. They'll have little puppies, cute little puppies that will eventually be able to grow up and train into war dogs. If you can, I like to bring more than one female, just so that we start getting more puppies early on. One male-female cat. Cats will also breed. They basically become pets. The interesting thing is cats actually choose their owners, not the other way around. Now, if you go down to the bottom, the last thing that I like to bring on an embark is turkeys, as they provide a ton of eggs for food. These things could basically supply their food, your food needs just on their own. I like to bring 4 turkey hens and 1 turkey gobbler. Now we're also going to need to bring some nest boxes with us, so that we'll be able to make use of that. Now, this wheelbarrow, I like to bring it with me on my embarks, but right now, for some reason, I'm really low on points, so I'm going to remove it for now. I can always make another one immediately when I get there to the fortress. If you have a lot of spare points, it's always good to bring some extra supplies with you. Some lye to make soap and other kinds of stuff, but that's all advanced stuff that you would need later down the road. But right now we're just doing the basics of the basics. Okay, also, since we're doing the basics of the basics, I will... Well, no, I'm not going to remove the iron anvil. I'm going to keep it because we generally don't want to get rid of that. Okay, so we need to add a nest box so that the actual hens will lay their eggs in it, and we will be able to harvest those eggs and make food. So I need to add a new item using N, and I can scroll through here to all the various things, lye, charcoal, that stuff. In order to get the nest boxes, I need to scroll down to tools and go for copper nest box. I usually like to bring 4 with me, but it looks like I'll only be able to bring 3 maybe, unless I can find some other stuff to sell. Yeah, I'll sell some plump helmets back. Okay, so I got 4 copper nest boxes. Now, this is generally all that we need at the moment. We have the picks, we have the battle axe, we have generally everything we need, so we're pretty much ready to go. Now, if you go back to the dwarves, you can use the C. You can go with the dwarf and say C customize. Let me go for actually the leader there. Customize and then N for nickname. And you can name them. It's always good to name your first dwarves. I'm just going to name the leader after myself, Silver Dragon. You can also add a profession like Overlord or whatever it is you find funny and interesting. Or if it actually has to do with his job. I don't do too much of it. Another thing you can do is capital F, where you name your fortress. You can actually do all the various actual custom naming of it and such. I just go random name till I find something that looks cool. Let's see here. Axe drummed. Let's just go for that, just as the example. Then escape. Same thing for the group name. The steamy fountains. The worthy helm. Let's go for the worthy helm. Alright, now we're pretty much ready to go. Our dwarves are all set up. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. In order to... okay, this is the thing I would have made a mistake on. I would have screwed up and then I would have to do it all over again. In order to actually save this embark profile so you can use it later, you have to hit S. Name your profile. I'm going to call it Silver Embark 1. And now it is saved and you'll be able to load it up later. Once we're ready to go, we hit E for embark. And I'm probably already more over the half an hour limit I set for myself. Trollolol. This is probably going to take like an hour. So I do have to hurry this up though because I need to get going. And here we go. We're at our fortress. Yay! We're here. We're here. Alright. Now you see we have 3 different windows here. We have the actual... viewing window, which shows us what the dwarves are doing, everything that's going on. We have the actual task window, which has all of our options and everything. And then we have the area window. This can be useful to have open in case of a hostile. If you get any hostiles, you can always open this up so you can see this red stuff here are various critters and animals running around the fortress right now. I can use tab to scroll through it. Personally, this screen right here is my preference. You got this wide open screen where you can view everything. I'm going to kind of zoom in a bit so you can see more of what's going on. And then we have all the options on the right side. Typically, this is, let me zoom out here. This is my default. This is how I prefer to see it. We can use the arrow keys to go around. We have, oh, I can see we have clay walls here. That's nice. Now, in order to go up and down through the layers, we use the greater than and lesser than keys, or shift period, shift comma. So we're going to go down with shift period and up with shift comma. Now we can see we have a, oh, it's actually a pretty wide open area here. We have the river down here. Now, there are a couple different places I could build this fortress, but I'm going to, oh god, I ended up scrolling up way up top here. Where's my fortress? And in a case like right now, it's like, oh no, I've lost my fortress, I don't know where my dwarves are anymore. If you hit F1, it will take you right back to where they were. Let's see, I like this area right here. This is like a natural kind of fortress setup in here, which I really like. That's actually really cool. So I'm gonna get my dwarves to actually dig into here for their home for now. So generally, there's a couple different. I'm gonna go through the various menus. We have view announcements, where they'll any alerts that come up, we can view them here, which is A. B for building. This is where we go into to build our farm plots, to place down any workshops, furnaces, any traps, beds, anything like that. All in the buildings here. View civilizations, just to view civilizations. The two main important ones you're going to want to know right off or to pay attention to are the building and the designation menu, which is what we're on now. For the designation menu, this is what allows us to dig and mine. The first one is, of course, mine, which allows us to dig into rock. Channel, which is just channeling down, remove upstairs ramps, which is what I'll be using to get rid of these little triangles that you see here, so that no critters can just like climb over top and into this little fortress area. I'm going to completely close this off. Chop down trees, you're designating them to be chopped down so that they will collect wood. Gather plants so that they can refine into seeds and other such stuff. Downward and upward stairways are also used here. However, they're only actually used in material. Like, designation is basically something that you're designating to have something done to it. You can't actually say build an upward stairway out here in the middle of nowhere, because you're building it into nothing. Designation is for carving, for cutting, stuff like that. That's basically what it's for. So if I wanted to build a downward stairway, though, because this is ground, it would work. But an upward stairway, I would have to go into the build menu and build it from that, usually for building towers and stuff like that outside. Now, generally in this, you're only really going to want to need the mine, maybe remove upstairs ramp, and the stairway and chop down tree keys. I don't really have any need for the gather plants one right off the bat. But anyway, let's see here. So let me go back now. Of course, we have the unit list, which is a fairly important one. Shows us the civilians, the pets and livestock we have with us, and the others. Here we can see, oh god, we got carp. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't seen carp in a long time. I believe these things actually kill dwarves. But we do have fish. That's a good thing, though, in a way. So we will actually be able to make a good fishing industry. That's a pretty important one. Another very important menu, of course, is the military, which is... But this is a beast in and of itself. Dear God, I will have to create a separate tutorial on the military. Even I still don't fully know it and understand it. It can be a pain in the butt for me all times. Points, routes, notes, you really don't need to know that. Make burrows is important if you want to tell your dwarves to hide somewhere in the fortress in case of attack. Stockpiles is also incredibly important that we're going to need. It's where we tell them to store stuff. I'm going to create a large one soon. Q is an important one, set building tasks preferences. This is where we go into a building and tell them to what to build and all kinds of other stuff. We'll get to that. View rooms, not really that important. Items in a building is mildly important. View units, blah, blah, blah. Nobles and administrators is also fairly important. That's where we assign our nobles. Like I'm going to assign the bookkeeper as myself, the broker, and the manager. That's all the things I have to do. I can also go into the bookkeeper now, into his settings, and tell him to make all counts highest precision, which is what I need him to do. But he won't actually be able to do anything until I get him a table and a chair to work at. Status screen is also incredibly important. This has our animals. This is our general information here, our created wealth. You can see we have the question marks on here on how much food and stock we have with us. This is what the record keeper will fix. If I hit animals, we can see all the animals we have. I can tell them to be slaughtered. I can assign them for war training and all kinds of stuff. The kitchen, we can tell them what to cook, what not to cook, if we want to stop cooking plum helmets for a while or something. Stone, and they don't really need to mess with this too much. It's just restricted access for certain things. But this is also the important one here, is stocks. You can use, of course, the arrow keys to scroll between them. Here we have all of our stocks here. Everything has question marks beside it. We don't know what we got. But anyway, going back now, we can... the rest is reports for combat reports, set orders, which isn't too important. The job list, which we don't need because we're using Dwarf Therapists, otherwise we'd have to do it in there. Squads is for actually military stuff. Hauling, you don't really need too much. Zones are fairly important. Zones with I. It's where we set up our pens, basically, and various other things. Garbage dumps, hospitals. It's just basically declaring a place a zone. There's a couple different things. We'll look at that. But anyway, for now, let me get my dwarves actually working a bit while I talk. So I'm going to get them to go in here. So I'm going to go into the designation menu. I'm going to tell them to mine out this little area here. And I'm going to put my fortress entrance right over here. So I like to, of course, you hit mine, then you hit enter in corner number 1, stretch it however wide you want it, and then hit enter again where you want it to be, where you want this to end. And they will come over here, they will dig this out now. I'm going to create a small offshoot corridor somewhere around here, about yay. Going to create a small, fairly sizable room here, using, of course, the arrow keys and the enter keys to move that around. Alright, I'm going to move this down a bit, and I'm going to, I guess I'll go like this, because eventually I'm going to block, well, eventually I'm going to block this area off entirely, and I'm going to create a big area here for them to dig out. This is basically where we're going to put the farm. Luckily, when it comes to farming, there are a couple ways to do it. If you embark on an area like this that has a shallow, like a soil layer, luckily you don't have to do any irrigation. You just have to dig it out, place farm plots, and start actually using them. If you had an area that had very little soil, you would actually have to, it's only stone, you would have to basically flood it using floodgates and closing it off so that it actually the water recedes. So you'd end up having to flood it and then do all this other kind of stuff and let it turn to mud, and then you can actually plant on it. Luckily for us, we have this area here as it is. I'm also going to tell them to remove the upstairs and ramps just so I can kind of secure this fortress. So I'm going to go enter in one area, enter in the other area, and all of these little up ramps are going to be removed. Once they are removed, this will be basically like a solid wall. Nothing will be able to come through except for through this little channel. Oops, please tell me that that's not too close to the actual... I'd be so sad if it was. Oh, thank God. If it's right here, if the wall was right here, I'd be pretty screwed because I couldn't actually remove it at map edge. Anyway, I'm going to let him do that. I'm going to create some zones quickly that I can get all these animals put away. So I'll create a sizable zone right here. So and then one corner, another corner. You can see I have water source. We can tell them where to fish, garbage dump, pen and pasture, which is what we're doing. Meeting area, hospital, animal training. But we want to create this area. We want to hit N for a pen and pasture, capital N to assign the animals to it. And we're going to want to assign the yak cow and the horse to this. Typically, I don't like to have yak cows. I'll probably slaughter it as soon as I can to get some extra food, as well as the horse. Now we're also going to want to create another little one here, probably closer to my actual fortress. This will probably just be a temporary one here. This is for my hens. So N again for pen, pasture, and we're going to assign all the hens and the turkey gobbler to that. Generally, the turkeys don't need to be penned up. The cow and the horse do, because they're grazer animals, and if they aren't actually penned outside, they will starve to death. But anyway, I'm also going to want to go into the build menu, so B, and then capital N for nest box. And I'm going to tell them to build the nest box within this area. Oh, great, it's too close to map edge. So luckily I can just build it in a line right here. Oh crap. Capital N, copper nest box, capital N, and have them there. So they will lay their eggs there and such. The next thing I'm going to want to do is create a general stockpile for them to store stuff in temporarily while we get all this working. So I'm going to, well, actually I should designate trees to be cut down first, so he'll get to work on that. So designate for D, T for cut down trees, then enter in one corner, enter in another corner. And now all these trees will be cut down and wood will be hauled over to this stockpile I'm about to make. So I need to hit P for stockpile, And I like to create a large general stockpile to begin with, just to get started. So I'm going to go from one corner here to another corner. Right about there is good enough. We can add it. We can edit things right now, or hit A for any of them, make them specific stockpiles. Just by hitting like A for animal, W for wood, and so on and so forth. I've used the plus and negative keys for reserve bins, and the forward then keys, and all these other ones here for barrels. But we don't need to do that; it does it automatically. Next, I'm going to hit Q to go into the set building task preferences. I'm going to go to the settings for this, and I'm going to enable food using E. Furniture. Do not enable corpses, refuse, or stone for this one. I'm going to make a separate stockpile for that. And you generally don't want to stockpile for stone because they'll fill it up in no time. Ammo, pretty much everything else, just enable it. And then we can create a small stockpile. I guess we'll put it in this corner right over here. It doesn't have to be too big. For refuse. So I'm going to hit R for refuse. And I'm going to hit settings and also enable corpses for that area. It's nothing too important. I generally don't get it set off right away. But now I hit space, and they're going to get to work now. They're going to get everything going. All the animals are going to run around. I can also hit Q and X to remove the caravan of the wagon to begin with. So he'll get to work on that. Once we have a couple trees cut down, we will be able to... okay, first the carpenter is actually removing the wagon. Or he's moving the food, I don't know which. Okay, so we can see my miners here. Where the hell are my miners? What are they doing? Well, I have no idea what they're doing. Oh, they're hauling right now. Okay, I don't want them doing that yet. Basically, to begin with, you want your miners mining. Now, right now, obviously, they're not doing what we want. They're hauling, and that's unacceptable. In order to fix that, we're going to open up the Dwarf Therapist. Yay! Here's our lovely program. Going to connect to Dwarf Fortress, read dwarves, and here we have our dwarves. Here we can assign and disable jobs, so I'm going to go for all my miners, and I'm going to disable all of... Oh, God, I accidentally globally disabled it. I'm going to disable all of their hauling. Now, I believe it was every second dwarf was my miner. So, let me quickly disable all of that. Yeah, every second dwarf is the miner. And then commit changes. It's always good to pause the game while you're doing this. Okay, now they are going to finish their current job. They're going to haul that stuff. And now they're going to actually start getting to work as miners. Looks like they're starting to work on the up ramps, so you can see they're digging them away. Now it's a solid cliff. That's good, I'll let them do that. Generally, I want them digging the mountain home first, but because it is soil layers, they're going to dig through it like nothing, like a flash anyway. So I will just let them do their thing right now. Oh, and one guy is actually going to work on the mountain home. Actually, two of them are. So that's good. You can see they're just like digging through. The reason I make this 4 wide is because caravans. If I hit capital D. Oh wait, why didn't it work that? I guess I don't, because I don't have trade depot set up yet. If you hit capital D, it will basically tell you how the wagons have access to your trade depots. I like to have a trade depot inside my fortress, so it makes it easier for my dwarves to transfer goods to it, and so on and so forth. Alright, I'm going to resume. Let them get to work. Now that we have a couple logs actually cut down and transferred to the bin here, it's time to make a couple workshops. So I need to go B for build, W for workshops, and I'm going to want to build a carpenter's workshop. I can just build them out here with a chestnut log. I'm going to want to build a mason's workshop. Enter, enter, and just move it around. And I need more logs before I can make anything else. And let's see here. For this side, I'm going to have it go like this, and I'll have my actual fortress. Actually, let me do this a different way. I'm gonna have my fortress entrance on this side instead. There we go. So I'm gonna have that dig out this way. I'm not actually going to do it fully though right now, so let me hit designate X. This is also an important one. Remove designation. If you make any mistakes and you want to cancel these, you just go D for designate and then X for remove. Same thing for constructions. If you build a wall or something you want to remove, you just hit N and then click on it and you're good. Alright, so I'm going to let them get their jobs done. This right here is going to be a temporary meeting hall that we want to set up right off the bat. Later on it can be transferred into a barracks for your dwarves to train the military skills in. This of course is going to be the farm area. You can see here we just hit some stone, so we will be able to get some stone pretty soon. That's good, that we can start building stuff with. But the main thing you want done immediately is for this farm to be dug out so you can get a farm like made like ASAP. You want to get your farms done like made really, really quickly so you can start planting. It is incredibly important. Now this is a bit larger than you need for the farm area, but I just like to make it big to begin with. Once they mine out a certain area, I'm going to get them to work on it immediately. Let's check this guy. I think he's still removing the up ramps and such. You can see they're hauling the chickens there, doing a pretty good job on it. Badger boar is no longer enraged. Oh god. You can see when you hear stuff like that, you're going to want to look to your units list and see what we got around here. Looks like we have some badger boars and sows around here. We can hit V on the unit list to actually zoom to them. Looks like they're on the other side of the river. You can use V to actually see any critters you're looking at. So right here we have a river otter. General, we can see generally what it's doing. I, what inventory it has. If it has any wounds, preferences is only for our dwarves, which is P. And Z, we can see the stats, which will explain us exactly what it is. It's a small river mammal, and it says blah, 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 blah. Nothing too important right now. I'm going to hit F1 to go back to my area here. Now, generally, I want to set up my zoom to actually lead me to the fortress. So after that, I go into the hotkeys menu, which is capital H, F1, and then Z for zoom here. I can also do the same thing for all the F keys. I'm going to resume now and let them get to work. Okay, now they have dug out most of this area, so that's good enough, so I can start get to work. So in order to build a farm, I need to hit B for build, and then P for farm plot. Use the U, M, K, and H keys to expand it. I usually like a 4x4 farm plots. Whoops, a little bit too much. And I like to space them out one from each other if I can. Oh, this looks like they actually didn't. I'm gonna have them dig out one more layer so that I can actually have it set up properly. Like I like my symmetry. I don't know. I'm kind of odd like that in a way. Now another thing you're gonna want to set up right now, which is actually being tossed in here. You can see these little dots here. These are actually seeds. Oh no, actually no, never mind. Those are turkey hen eggs. But basically, we want our seeds at our farm. So we want to go to Q, stockpile settings for this stockpile. We want to go down to food using the arrow keys, scroll over to the next option here. Now we can even scroll over even more and specifically say we don't want, say, unprepared cuttlefish in this stockpile. But basically what I want to do is completely disable seeds to be here. So I'm going to hit F, for, do not hit D for disable, as that will completely disable the entire food for this stockpile. We just want to forbid it. So we hit F for forbid seeds, and now they will no longer haul seeds to this stockpile. We want to make a new stockpile that is right next to our farm, so I'm going to hit F for food, and I'm going to stretch it down to about here. It should be good. Go Q into the settings. We could go in the stockpile menu, C for custom, and then do it there. But I like to just quickly place it down and then do it here. It seems faster to me. So we're going to quickly forbid everything in here except for seeds. So now only seeds will be hauled here. Okay, now we can resume, let them get to work on all this. Once they actually get the meeting hall dug out, which they just have, I'm going to start getting them to dig deeper so that we can get some stuff actually mined. That's map edge, so I'm going to go here. So I'm going to hit designate and then J for downward stairway. I like to create a 3x3 stairway for my main stairways, just because, I don't know, I like that. Makes a lot of room for them to actually do things. Next, in order to set up proper stairways, basically, I'll show you how to set up proper stairways. If I set up a downward stairway here, they can't actually go down yet, because this is only just on this floor. Basically, the way it works is you have a downward stairway, and you need to go below that, and you can need to create, like, say, an upward stairway that leads up to that downward stairway and connects the two together. Or you can also make an up-down stairway, which would go both down to that floor and then create the ability to go down one more if another stairway is built below it. What we want to do here is I'm going to create a up-down stairway with I. I'm going to use the greater than, lesser than key to scroll down, and I'm going to, I think it was, where's that corner at? There it is. And I'm going to build the up-down stairway right there as an in-between, and then an upward stairway to finish it off. Then I'm just going to create like a general mine, like just like this, just for them to dig out. Give them something to do to collect some stone so we can get some building. Hit F1 to get back to here. Now we have the carpenter shop has been built. We do have a few bits of wood, so the first things we're going to want to get built are a couple beds. Oh, I accidentally made barrels. Let me cancel that. Let me actually go through this whole of what we're doing right here, because I kind of skipped through a bit. So we hit Q to go to Set Building Task Preferences. We hit A for Add New Task, and then we can scroll down here and do whatever we want. We want to make a bed, though, which is B. So I'm going to make 4 beds to begin with. Since we're still waiting on stone, I probably can't get the mason to do his job, so I'll also make a wooden table with T and a wooden chair with C. Okay, hit resume, let them get the job done. As you can see now, there is a bit of a difference now with the newer dwarf fortress than there was in the previous ones. Before, basically every single stone you dug would give you stone. Like if I dug even one of these, I would have that ore or that stone. Now it's a little more rare, well, I'd say a little more sparse, in which you won't actually get every single tile, like maybe every second tile. Now you can see we just stuck bituminous coal or something like that. Basically, that's what we could use. We can turn that into that coal using charcoal into coke. Basically, we're taking 1 fuel and turning it into 2 fuel. And if we have a magma forge, eventually we can turn it into just 2 fuel right off the bat. We don't even need it. But anyway, let me resume and let them get to work on that. So basically, this is what we need right here to get a quick steel industry. Is this material right here. Oh, we also just found praise opal, which is our gems. I'm going to designate. Another interesting thing is you can actually use your mouse to issue these like designations. I don't use it too often, but it's nice to do every now and then. If you're good with the mouse, as it were, if you got that nice hand-eye coordination skills or whatever there. Struck onyx, which is another gem. Now, this is a bit of an issue right now, because all we're finding here is coal. And I need stone right now, so I'm going to extend this to about here. Just create another downward stairway. And I'm just going to create a line of up-down stairways. Now the interesting thing is you don't have to do it one section at a time. I can do one here, go down several layers in this corner, and I suddenly have a whole set of stairways ready to be dug out. Alright, now I'm going to go up here to the mason's workshop. Obviously he's not working right now, he's busy digging this tunnel. I'm going to let him do that until he has some basics. Now, hopefully, my guy has been, I think he's been digging, or actually cutting down trees and not hauling, or not using the wood yet. But yeah, generally, let's see here. I don't want my woodcutter to be hauling stuff right now because he needs to be doing his job, so I'm going to just disable item hauling, burial, food hauling, refuse hauling. Furniture hauling I'll leave because he is making beds and stuff, so I do need him to have that. But that should be good enough right now. Oh, we struck Jasper. Now see if we have all these alerts we have that are popping up. We can hit A for alerts and then Z to zoom to the location so we can see exactly what it is we're hitting. You can also hit K, which will specifically go down. You can see exactly what's there. Looks like we got magnetite wall. I'm not sure exactly what magnetite. Oh, this is magnetite. Okay. So I believe I can turn that into, or use that as a stone. So it was like right over here that the coal is. Okay. I thought all of this was coal, but it was just a misunderstanding of the texture pack. Okay, but I'm going to actually, now that I do have some materials to build with, I'm going to hit X to remove this layer here so that they don't dig any further, so that they get upstairs and start actually digging the rest of the farm and all these up-ramps away. See, this is what I mean. Stray Cat has adopted Moldath the Miner. So the Stray Cat just adopted the Miner. He's adorable. You can actually have like one dwarf running around with like 10 cats adopted to him or something. It has happened very often. Now I'm gonna go build and then bed. So he's not actually doing his job. So we're gonna yeah, he is hauling wood right now. I figured as much. I figured he would be. He has enough wood though now to get the job done. So I'm gonna quickly tell him to stop cutting down these trees for a moment so we can get all this stuff built that we need done. Oh crap! And I've completely forgot about my farm. I'm sorry guys. I got distracted there. I've been completely abusing the farm. Now, just because you built the farm plot doesn't mean that he's actually going to immediately start planting anything in it. You have to tell him what to plant. So we need to get Q, set building task preferences, And we have a couple of options here. We have the various plants for the season we're in. We go A, B, C, D for spring, summer, autumn, winter. And then we can select what plants you want. We can tell them to fallow at a certain time. I honestly don't know what fallow does. I've never done it. I think it actually creates like fertilization over time. I could be wrong. I should really do that. I should really explore that more. But basically what we want to do to begin with is A for spring, and then enter on plump helmets. And just basically every single season we want plump helmets. Whoops, I accidentally hit C's fert and fertilize. Winter, we want plump helmets. Okay, so now every single season is going to be done, have plump helmets made. I'm going to have my first 2 plots set to pure plump helmets. Now, another couple actual things we're going to want to, workshops we're going to want to build in here are the still, which is B for build, W for workshops, and then L for still, which is where we're going to make our beer. K for the, oh no, that's not K, is not it. It's H for kitchen, which is where we're going to make our food, also out of rock salt. And then I'm going to let them do that. It's inactive, so hopefully the masonry dwarf will get over here soon and start working on that. But anyway, I've already been at this for like an hour now, so this is going to be one long-ass tutorial video. Sorry about that, guys. Well, actually, that's part of the extensiveness of Dwarf Fortress. You can literally end up getting sucked into this and just playing for like 8 hours straight or something crazy. Like, I literally played this for like 16 hours straight one day. It was crazy. Now we can see here that my carpenter is hopefully finishing hauling the last. Actually, what is my carpenter doing? One thing we can actually find out what they're doing is by hitting U. We can go down to carpenter. He's currently drinking, lazy bastard. So he's basically down at the caravan right now, relaxing and having a fun time, and not getting his job done. So we're gonna follow him now. I'm gonna zoom in on him a bit. Whoa, that's the wrong way. Okay, this is as good as I can zoom in. So he's going to take the log, he's going to take it to his carpenter's workshop, and he's now finally going to start constructing the actual. I'm also going to have my crafts mason's workshop start producing tables. Now you can hit R on an item that you're crafting in order to repeat it, so he'll keep making this item. I also want a door. Oh, it's cabinet. Whoops. D is door, so I want him to make some doors. I also want him to make chests or coffers, which is H, so repeat. You can search through all this, and also a armor and weapon stand, which you could use for armor training or weapon, military training pretty soon. So I like to make at least one of each, just in case. Now, an issue for actually getting my getting the merchants into here is once I actually build my caravan indoors, they will not be able to get past these boulders with their caravans. In order to remove these boulders, you have to go B for build, capital C for constructions, and here we have our walls. We can build walls outside, we can build floors, ramps, like the ones we're destroying right now, upstairs, downstairs, fortifications, stuff like that. This is all the stuff we do exterior. This is where I told you if you're building a stair like right here, like an upstair for a tower, you'd have to build it here. We have to build a wall over it and then remove it, using the designate and then N for remove construction. Generally, I'm not going to do it right now because I'm not going to be on here long enough for the traders to come in. But anyway, and same thing for the entrance here. I would have to remove these 3 rocks right here if I was going to allow them easy access into the fortress. Probably this one as well, just for safety reasons, for caution. My God, there's a lot of boulders just like scattering the area. Anyway, they finally have the beds built, so I want to build some beds here. I only have the one though right now made, so it's going to be a bit for that. Oh no, actually I have 2 made now. So I just like to line the bottom corner here with the beds. You want to make 7 beds, just for one for each of your dwarves. You don't really have to because you're making it into a dormitory, but later on you'll actually have like a bedroom set up for them. But anyway, you slowly craft that. I'm going to give it a couple seconds while it does that, and then I will get into the actual building of other things. Let's see. So you just made the table and a chair. I'm going to have to make a couple more beds though. Also, I'm going to have to make some barrels for storing food right now, temporarily, until I get a craft store workshop up, so I could use it. Use that. Okay, so V for barrels. Speaking of which, I'm going to get those workshops built now. So I'm going to go build W for workshops, and I'm going to go build the other two important ones to have immediately. We want ourselves a Crafts Dwarfs workshop, which is fairly important. I'm just going to make it out of logs quickly. A Mechanics workshop, which we use to make mechanisms that can link up levers to gates, so we can get this valley shut off in case of an attack. Basically, we would go like build, say, trap, capital T, and then lever, which we don't have right now. The lever would pop up, and we would place it right here, say somewhere in our meeting hall, and we'd tell them to hook it up to a gate down here, or a bridge, which is B and then G for bridge. And then we would use the U keys to expand, U, M, H, and yeah, the typical expansion keys to raise it up, but there's with a difference. Because right now this bridge retracts, so basically it would just pull back, and it wouldn't actually seal this valley. It would just be like retracting a bridge across land, or something. So it would not be effective. In order to get it to seal off the valley, we need it to raise. We can change that by using the the WASD and WAD, X, and S keys. In order to get it to go this way, we want to use the W key so that it raises that way. We can also make it raise this way with the A, same with that, or retracts this way with S, or raises this way with S or X, yeah. But we want it to raise up with W. I'm not going to place this down now, but generally you want to get one of these in place pretty quickly, get some mechanisms built, get this thing hooked up in case of emergencies. Since we have this valley sealed off, we'd also want to build a burrow so that they actually stay in this valley in case of emergencies. So I hit W, add new burrow, enter to actually designate what the burrow is. I'm going to be lazy and designate this burrow right now, but generally, whatever you enable here is the area that they will be able to walk in. This is what they will be able to do. I'm going to remove this bit. I'm going to hit X to remove, start erasing, so that I can... Oh no, it's R for this, currently erasing. Okay, so I don't want them outside of that. Currently painting again, so I'm going to get this. Basically, all of this area, they will be able to, if I set an alert and tell them to go to the burrow, this is what they will only be able to access. So if there's any jobs outside of this burrow, they will not do it anymore. They'll drop it, they will run, and they will get over here. I can set that up by going military, and with M, alert, A, and then adding a new alert, and then naming it, say, oh no, not, oh crap, military alerts. I think it's capital N for naming it, and just say run, or name it whatever you want. And then you want to go over to the burrow number 1 and set that as the civilian alert. Now if I hit enter on run, it's going to set that as active, and now all of my dwarves are going to run for that burrow. Obviously right now I don't want them doing that, so I'm going to set them to active training and let them get to work. Now we're going to build some more beds. The table is finally ready. So let's go table, chair. I don't have one yet. Okay, but let's get my actual brewer working. So we want to go Q, add a task, brew drinks, and repeat. We also want him... Oh wait, why am I building a fishery? Crap, I meant that to be a kitchen. Oh, H is fishery. Oh, idiot. Z is kitchen, not H. Damn it. Sorry guys, my fail. Okay, we're going to place that down there. Hopefully he'll get that built quickly so I can start preparing some fine meal or some easy meals. Let's resume. I'll let them get to work. So we finally have the chair as well. So I'll place that down. Do we have a door yet? Nope. Okay. So they're going to move everything. Now, in order to turn these into actual... I keep getting stung by honeybees. Poor hens. Alright, in order to actually turn this into a proper meeting hall and sleeping area temporarily, I need to actually designate it to be so, or set it up to be so. So I hit Q for set building tasks and preferences, R for on the bed for bedrooms, and I'm going to resize it. It doesn't have to be too amazing, like this will do. Enter, and then I'm going to hit D for dormitory, so that they will all sleep there generally. I'm also going to hit R on the table to turn this into a dining hall. Obviously it's extending into the actual hallway. I don't necessarily want that though. I'm going to lower it a bit. And this will probably do. It's a meeting hall, yes. I want to assign the table to myself. Whoops. assign the table to myself. I also want to use the throne and make it into a study and assign it to myself. Well, it doesn't all to myself. Basically, assign it to your leader. Now that he finally has a table and a chair, he can get to work on turning these question marks in the stocks pile into actual numbers. Now, if we go to the noble screen, N, and go down to bookkeeping, now is when we would tell him to make all of his counts the highest precision. And he would get in there, he would start actually doing his job. You can see, if I hit V over him, he is currently G for general. Updating stockpile records, so I'm going to give him a minute, and we should see those numbers start disappearing. But yeah, this is generally it. You're also going to want to, of course, like I said, go Q. Mechanics workshop isn't being done right now. Another important thing you're going to want to get done immediately, or pretty soon, is rock. For the craft stores workshop, once your miner is done, you have like a... The main things you want to get built once you've done this temporary area is a new workshop area inside the fortress for your dwarves to work. A dining hall, a large dining hall that you can carve out, that you can smooth out and engrave, which you use with the designate smooth and then engrave options in the D menu. And then you also want bedrooms. Those are the three things you want to get made immediately, as soon as you can, the three areas. But for now, you want to make rock crafts if you want to for trading. But the main thing we also want is rock pots, and we want that on repeat. Rock pots basically are used for storing beer and food instead of barrels, which is good because we don't waste trees then, which could be used for charcoal and other such things, making potash. We're also going to want to make mechanisms when eventually that actually gets made, and then use them to set up various different things. Okay, he needs a hard rock, so right now the rock isn't good enough for him to actually make stuff. So we'd have to dig down here, of course. Up, down stairways. And they would have to dig out some more materials for him to actually use. Generally, once you designate an area ought to be mined out, your guy's going to be taking care of that himself. Okay, I need the cook to get it over here quickly and do that. Make that workshop. Hopefully he'll do it pretty quickly, because we're pretty much ready to call this guide right now as it is. We do want to get all these goods moved in. For some reason, dwarves do not seem to want to move beer from the caravan unless it's specifically made a stockpile for it. I don't know why, it's totally weird to me. But anyway, we're striking all kinds of new materials, we're finding all kinds of new stuff to build with. But anyway, you can see they're moving the seed bins in here, and everything's getting done. He is currently moving if you can see, he just moved the plump helmet that we actually brought with us. And he's going to be using that to brew. He's currently bringing a barrel as well, so he's going to start brewing drinks. I'm going to wait for a moment, and then I'm going to hit V and inventory on him to see what he has made. Typically, he can make a couple different kinds of drinks. Alright, let's check his inventory. So he made a, let's see here. Oh, it doesn't quite tell me. Oh well. But anyway, also we want to build more tables and more chairs here for the dwarves to actually like sit in. Build the doors. We can put them in here so we can actually like resize the room to the meeting hall to be a bit larger and encompass more of an area. Later on, you can also assign somebody to train your dogs into war dogs. That's something I'll probably cover later. You just basically build a kennel using B and then K. Build yourself an animal training area using the zone and then T. And then you just assign somebody to train animals and go into the Z menu, animals, and then assign them to war training with W. But anyway, that's it for now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I'd also say building a butcher shop right now and butchering that horse and cow would be a good idea to get yourself some more food to begin with so you can keep the dwarves going. If I hit Z, now we can see it's no longer a mystery. We know exactly how many food stores we have, how many seeds, how much drink. We can tell if we go to stocks now, all of these are now perfect. We know how much glob we got if we have any glob, how many seeds we have. We now know everything about that. So this is how you set up a first initial fortress, how you get set up, situated to get stuff going, the basics of the basics. This is basically it right here. I will come back later after my vacation. I will see if I can expand on this some more, add a little more detail to this tutorial, start working on more advanced things. Until then, hopefully you guys can get going with this and get yourselves a Fortress set up. I would say if any of you, if you have not played Dwarf Fortress, give it a try. It is complicated. It can be a little intimidating, but it is so fun. It really is. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Look forward to everything and all the changes that are going to be coming in the future when I'm done on my vacation. I'll miss you guys. I don't know how I'm going to survive without a computer for a week and a half or so, but yeah. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in a week. Peace.